Alright, is this rolling? Okay, it is. I'm sorry, guys. I said I would post last week, but I didn't. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I was pretty freaking lazy. Stuff happens, stuff happens. And today, I also apologize because I had some stuff to do this morning and afternoon, so if you've noticed already, the mood, I'm still in a good mood. It's just my energy levels are quite depleted. I kind of have a headache going on, so I'll try to just zoom through this with good quality as well, trust. And yeah, I'm just gonna review it like normal, So, welcome back to One Piece One Takes, the show where you listen to me talk about One Piece. Basically, a chapter review that takes longer than actually reading it, with some anecdotes here and there, plus like whatever I want to say. So, let's get to the title. The title's called Mark III, and we'll see very shortly why. So, cover story, we see Queen, Caesar, and Judge fighting, as they do. And the cover story's title is Three Men Endlessly Scraping to be number 2. Obviously behind Vegapunk, right? So here's why we see the title being called Mark III. We dive right into Egghead and we see the Mark III version of Kuma's Pacifista line, fighting off the Cypher Pole, the remainder, basically the goons. And it has an updated design. It looks cool. I'd like to describe how it looks like, but I don't think I'll do it justice, so I'd recommend you guys to just read if you want to see it, and just read One Piece, regardless, right? Because it's good, right? So it has an updated design, and it also has an ability, which is a bubble shield. And yeah, this is also in line with, probably is also in line with Vegapunk's mentality of wanting to create peace, having like an ultimate defensive ability that deflects someone but that minimizes the amount of damage the opponent takes without causing any damage at all onto the pacifista, right? So yeah, that's good for one, and then basically we also get to see the pacifista talking, which is new considering the previous 2 models they don't talk. Then we cut to a heavily injured Setomaru, who's getting treated by the locals of Egghead, and he also mentions that he can't get a hold of Vegapunk, obviously because he vanished, right? Then Sentomaru just orders 50 Mark III pacifistas because the government doesn't know he's rebelling, right? Because they're trying to call him on the Denden Mushis, but like they keep trying to call him because obviously of what's happening on Egghead, right? But they probably haven't realized yet that he's rebelled. So he orders 50 Mark III pacifistas to make sure the Straw Hats leave safely and to ensure that their creator, Vegapunk, escapes. Then we get to Luffy panting as he mentions that he can't seem to find Vegapunk and Bonnie, although he ran around everywhere. While Luffy was reiterating and asking oh, where's Bonnie? I wonder where they went. And then Shaka mentions that Bonnie's still there with Luffy. Or rather, okay, I read that wrong. Let me try it again. While Shaka mentions that Bonnie's still there with Luffy being surprised at the fact that, Shaka could have just told him where they were. Key point to take away is that I didn't mention that he found Vegapunk, the stellar body. So, we see the remaining three get a proper, egghead attire, futuristic attire, and that three would be Stussy, Zoro, and Brook. Then we see a long panel of everyone just talking, the whole crew talking. And we also get to see that Atlas has been healed / repaired. So that's nice, I kind of like her. She's very rough in an endearing way. Then Shaka mentions that the crew's trapped in the dome, and any attempt at escape will only be met with lasers. So that means they still can't get out. They still can't escape. Not without the stellar body anyway, right? So the crew also mentions that, also wonders, how can they leave if, the main Vegapunk isn't even here, he vanished. So Shaka mentions that they should prioritize finding the stellar body, and in the meantime, Shaka will be the one to repair the dome, right? Just to disable all the lasers. That's what I think, at least. And also, apparently they don't have full coverage of the lab, with the baby Dendemushis that capture video. So, because apparently when the Seraphim were rampaging around, they probably knocked out a few from their place. And they've also knocked out a few, actually, so they're incapacitated. So, no view of the whole lab. Then, basically, Shaka also sent some labs workers, or rather sent the labs workers and other satellites to search for the stellar body, with Pythagoras radioing in about the third floor of C Tower being empty. And again, he vanished, more or less. So the whole crew decided to go help in search of the main body, while Luffy, oh my god. The fatigue is taking me. Okay, so the whole crew go and try to find Vegapunk. And Luffy and Zoro are staying behind because Luffy's obviously panting, he's tired. And Zoro just because the rest told him to stay behind, because he's gonna get lost. So then from there we also see that they're taking care of the bodies of Kaku and Lucci, because they're down and out, right? And what if they wake up? Both of them would be more than enough to take down Lucci and Kaku. I mean, Luffy whopped Lucci, right? That was crazy. So anyway, they go off to search. The other two stay behind. Then we get to see what really happened with Bonnie. So Bonnie goes in, and as she's going in, Vegapunk, the baby, is like, no! And then we see a last speech bubble, wah! So maybe that might be him vanishing. But anyway, we see Bonnie inside Kuma's memories, or at least one of his memory. And we see that Kuma's a very big baby, a big kid, and more or less we see him crying. He gets beat up by people asking him to come back. Looks like normal people. And then there's one shadow that looks like a celestial dragon, but that might just be a weird hairstyle, Looks like St. Charles's freaking hair. And yeah, so he's getting beat up by them, he's crying, getting dragged around. And then Bonnie's also crying, wants to help him. And then she gets spit back out by the paw because since she's crying, she doesn't have the right resolve to stay inside and see these memories. So she wants to understand her dad, right? She goes back in, and then we also see Pythagoras, like the panel after, like roaming around trying to find him. And then an explosion came out from the side of a tower of sorts. So that might just be Bonnie, right? Then we cut over to the blimp of Big News Morgan, and he's talking. To keep it long story short, basically, he's overjoyed because, you know, of the whole egghead fiasco, right? With Straw Hat Luffy and Vegapunk, and how the if the and how, like, if the public were to learn of the government wanting to assassinate Vegapunk, obviously there would be outrage, right? Because Vegapunk did so much good, right? But then, since it's Big News Morgan's, he wants to, you know, put up some fake title, and the fake title is basically Emperor Straw Hat Luffy takes Vegapunk hostage. Then we see one speech bubble that says, "That's outrageous." And lo and behold, we see Nefertari Vivi alive. And she's like, Luffy would never do that. Then we see Wapol beside her. Like, no, shut up, like, no. And then he's worried, looking around because there might be wiretapped snails. And obviously the reason is because, like, the government probably doesn't know that she's alive, right? And let's be honest, I think a lot of us, not that we know, but a lot of us think that the government was the one who assassinated Vivi's dad. So, yeah. So Wapple's like, Then Big News Morgan's is like, don't tell me how to do my job, girl. And then he says, like, news isn't about facts or fiction. It's about entertainment. I mean, what else can I say? That's just him, you know. And yeah, the last panel, or that is the last panel, rather. And then end. So, from my summary, I think you can tell that it's not so eventful, besides the fact that Vivi's alive. I wasn't. Obviously, it's a happy thing, happy moment that we get to see confirmed that she's alive. But I think one of the reasons why I didn't have a big reaction to it is because I'm tired. I'm kind of dead tired at the moment. But also, it was kind of given she wouldn't have died. Like, if she would have died, like, there are some people that Oda could have killed off. That would be cool. But Vivi, and not just because I like her character, although I do like her character, it's just there's no reason to kill her. So again, I'm glad to see her that she's alive. Obviously, she wasn't gonna die. I was pleasantly surprised with Wapol, though. I don't know how they met up, and they were presumably together because Wapol mentions that she also has to, like, be not so, like, not so defensive against Morgans, because Morgans was the one who took both of them in, right? So maybe Wapol maybe Wapol and Vivi witnessed like Vivi's dad die Who knows? But yeah, that's pretty much the whole chapter. What can I say? I mean, I can't really think straight, but from what I've read, very good chapter. It's, again, I wouldn't give it a perfect score, but it's also not bad. And it's average, but for an average One Piece chapter, it's still very good. Plus Vivi, Wapo. I give it a solid 8, you know. Checks all the boxes. It's good. But yeah, it's good. And I guess that's it. Can't wait for next week. Hopefully I don't have anything on, so for one I can post, and secondly I wouldn't be so tired. Now it's crazy, honestly, it's crazy. Maybe it doesn't show, but the headache plus my energy levels. Oh man. Yeah, 8 out of 10. I liked it. Hope you did too. Yeah. If you have anything to recommend, please comment down below. You know, like and subscribe. And yeah, that's all for me. I apologize again for my previous shortcomings. I'll be back with more. Thank you so much.